Hey, what's up guys, myself Muhammad Fahim Hassan and you are watching Fine Gap YouTube channel. In today's video, we will try to understand the foundation of clean code. You might think that the majority of developers work involve writing code. However, in reality, a significant amount of time is spent on reading code. This includes code written by other team members, code written by people who are no longer part of your team, and even code that you wrote 2 weeks ago but may not remember much about. So the more clean code you will write, the more less time it will take you to understand the code. So that's why this is very important. And don't think of the principles that I'm going to talk about in this video that something you need to master immediately. You can watch this video, then you can practice, and then you have to become, or you need to make improvements in yourself gradually, not immediately. So without any delay, let's start. You can see that I am on my Visual Studio Code and this is a simple JavaScript file. Let's see upon this code and then you can see on this code. These both codes are doing the same thing, but you can see that this code have proper indentation, but obviously in this code there is no proper indentation. And second thing, you can notice that the name of the function like generate user greeting and the name of the variables that we are using inside the function are very descriptive in our clean code. You can call this clean code and let's just call this bad code. So when you write code, it is very recommended to write descriptive names of your variables and the function. Okay, you can see that in our bad code the single letter variables are used and these are confusing and making our code messy. And similarly on our example B, which is a clean code, you can see that it is much easier to guess what's happening because the function and variables are named clearly and the indentation and spacing follows a consistent and logical pattern. You can see that we have a consistent indentation of our code. The next thing I want to talk about is naming functions or keywords or variables. In JavaScript you should, or maybe in any other language, you should use proper naming convention. Now what does it mean? For example, you have a variable, you can call this my alpha variable and then you can call like demo graph paper. You can see that these are very bad code. Okay, maybe this is a good example, but when you will use a proper naming convention, for example in JavaScript mostly we use camel case. So in camel case, when you write a variable name, the first letter would be in lowercase like my, and then the second letter of second word will be uppercase like my class, and then again if you have a third word, then you will again write the first letter of that word in uppercase, and this is how you will write. Okay, you can call this my camel case variable. Okay, so you can see that the each letter I am typing, the first word of that letter is uppercase. So if you will follow the proper naming convention, it will be easy to understand the variables. And now there are also other naming conventions as well. For instance, we have kebab case, like you can also write this variable like my camel case variable. But if you think that in the project that you are working they are following camel case naming convention, then you should not use this one. Okay, and obviously if they are using camel case, you should also use camel case. And multiple naming conventions, maybe it can become a little bit confusing for you. So the thing is to keep in mind is use proper naming convention. The next important thing is consistent naming. You can see in our first consistent naming example that we are using get player score, get player name, and get player tag. Okay, this is a consistent naming, you can see that. And in bad code you can also write like get user score and fetch player name. Maybe these both functions are doing the same thing, but now you can see that, and retrieve player one tag. Okay, so the first thing is you can see that instead of get we are using different letters like get, fetch, or retrieve. So if you will use this type of inconsistent naming, obviously it will become a difficulty for you. And second thing, you can see that if we are building a game and we call the person player, so you can see that each time I'm calling him a player, like get player name, get player tag, or get player score. But in bad code You can see that we are sometime we are calling the player user, sometime we are calling him player, sometime we are calling him player one. So that is why you should follow a consistent naming convention for your variables and for your functions, especially for both. Next, you can see that I have this another set of code, and variables should preferably begin with a noun or an adjective, okay, as they are typically represent things, whether thing is a string or a number. And similarly, functions represent actions, so ideally they should begin with verb. You can see that in our first example we are typing here number of things or my name, and so we are using noun in the beginning. And in the not preferable code, you can see that we are giving a variable name get count, which is not good. But in function you can obviously use that get count because this function is doing something or it is returning something. So this is the thing you need to keep in mind. Now you can see that you cannot call a function like my name, okay, this is not good. So yes, you can use show name or display name something, but this is not good like my name. Or you can call this get my name because it is returning a name. Okay, the next thing you need to keep in mind is, for example, you have this variable, okay, you have this line of code. This is a JavaScript set type of function. Obviously everyone knows that it takes time in milliseconds, for instance, and this is the time for 1 hour. So this is not good because each time you will try to read this code, maybe you need to Google this, chat GPT this, or maybe you will require a calculator to calculate this time. But in a good way, what you can do, you can simply, like, let me type here clean code. You can declare a variable like 1 hour, and then you can call this function. Now each time you will try to read this code, this will be obvious for you that this time is in milliseconds and this is 1 hour, okay. And maybe you will think that why we have writing this in uppercase. In previously we talk about camel case. Actually in JavaScript, when you have or maybe in PHP as well, when you have a variable which you think is constant, for instance we have a variable which is pi, which is value is 3.14, okay, ignore me if I'm writing its value wrong. But for instance we have a pi value, and we know that this value is constant and this is not going to be changed through our code. So instead of writing that in camel case, it is recommended that you should write your constants in uppercase. So this is a 1 hour, or and obviously this is going to be a constant, so that's why we have write it uppercase, okay. The next thing is to keep in mind is the length of your line, okay. You can see that this is a code, and you can see that in the first line this line is too long, and developer will require to move forward and to read the full line, okay. But in a good way you can format this line like this. Maybe on each line you can write a variable name like this, or maybe simply you can add a single line only, okay. So you should follow a specific line width. You should not write too much long lines, otherwise it will break the cleanness of your code. Okay, next you can see that this is another code example, and this is very important to understand that once you will write your code, for instance you write a function that is doing something, but later you are trying for a bug fix or maybe to add a functionality. What you do, you try to keep your previous code as well. For instance, if your new code that you are going to write will not work in the right way, so you can get back your previous code. Maybe temporarily it is okay for testing that you comment some function or some specific lines of code. But now for instance, if your new function is working really fine and you think that you do not need the old functions anymore, you can see that this is even our older function, older useless function. And for instance, why I am even here, I am ancient, okay. So you should delete them from your code. In your code you should note that when I see a file that is written by you and there are 50 lines, 25 are commented and 25 are uncommented, so this is not a good example. For testing, yes, you can comment out your code, but if you think that some chunk of your code is not usable anymore, you should delete that code. Okay, next we are going to talk about commenting. Commenting are very important when you write a clean code, but obviously you should avoid the misuse of comments. Okay, for instance, you can see that this is a function. Okay, and inside this function, on each line we are writing a command, that function to extract text, and inside this we have write return the string starting after this and ending like this. Okay, so this is not a really a good example. You can also write this example like this. Okay, let me remove the previous code. Now you can see that we have only single command, which is the description of our function that extracts text inside square brackets, excluding the bracket. Okay, so you can see this. And obviously, when you write clean code, we can also avoid comments. For instance, you can see that we have this the same function, which is saying that extract text within brackets, and then brackets, text start, bracket text end. And you can see that we are passing these variables in our function. So here you can see that we do not need to write comment, because our code is very descriptive and a developer should can easily understand this code. So you should write or use comments, but you should not write too much comments. Or for instance, you do not need to write the pseudo code of your coding. Okay, so use these comments wisely, so they should not overwhelmed. In the end of this video, I am going to give you a URL. I'm going to show you in this video. You need to go to github.com/airbnb and /javascript. So after github.com website, you simply need to type /airbnb and then /javascript. If you will read their readme file in very detail, they have also write a detailed guidance to write a clean code. So this video was just a foundation. Obviously you should get some time and you should read these best practices. These are written by Airbnb. Okay, so you can see that these are very large. So I hope that this resource will help you a lot to write clean code in your projects. And if you like our video, please let us know in the comment section. If you have any question in your mind, you can ask from ChatGPT. But still, if you are unable to understand, you can ask us in the comment section. We will try to answer your question. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video with those friends who are starting their web development journey. And finally, thanks for watching.